Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a near unique moment in history as we vote on whether to hold a former colleague in contempt of Congress. The last time that happened was 1832. Mark Meadows has committed a crime, in this case, a premeditated one. He thought carefully about his actions and actively chose to stonewall, which you can clearly see in his back and forth with the Select Committee. First, he produced over 9,000 pages of documents from his time in the White House. Then, after his former boss made it clear his disappointment and displeasure, he did a 180, and he refused to answer even a single question from his former colleagues or even to show up at all. This constitutes legal contempt, but also personal contempt. Mark Meadows' actions demonstrate his contempt for Congress, for the Select Committee, for his former colleagues, and for the integrity of the democratic process. He has clearly rejected this committee's investigation, so now it's time to see whether the Department of Justice can be more persuasive. No one is above the law, not even a former president's chief of staff. In a nation of laws, you cannot have it both ways. He can't decline to tell his story to Congress and on the very same day, publish part of that story in a book to line his pockets. He can't decline to answer any questions on the many non-privileged documents he produced to us. He can't unspeak what he has said and call it privileged after the fact. It is perfectly conceivable that portions of what a president's chief of staff knows is subject to a presidential privilege, shielding it from disclosure. But it is also true that not everything he knew or did during that period is privileged. Mark Meadows knows that. It's why he sent us the documents he did and what made his book possible. That's why the law required him to show up for his deposition and to specify in response to each question what the answer was and whether or not that answer, in fact, was privileged from disclosure. His refusal to comply with the direction of Congress, stated plainly on the face of the Select Committee's subpoena, is a display of his contempt for Congress, which now forces us to sadly have to take this action. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.